See also List of French monarchs and List of Frankish queens. This is a list of the women who have been queens consort or empresses consort of the French monarchy. All monarchs of France were male, although some women have governed France as regents. 53 women were married to French monarchs, 49 queens and 3 empresses. Ingeborg of Denmark and Anne of Brittany were each queen more than once. Marie Josephine Louise of Savoy was queen de jure during the Republican and Imperial periods, but never wife of the de facto head of the French state. From 1285 to 1328, the crowns of Navarre and France were united by virtue of the marriage of Joan I of Navarre to Philip IV of France, and by the succession of the 3 sons, Louis X, Philip V, and Charles IV. Thus, the wives of these 3 kings were queens consort not only of France but of Navarre. With the death of Charles IV, however, Navarre passed out of the hands of the French kings until 1589, when Henry III of Navarre became Henry IV of France. Upon Henry's succession, his wife Margaret of France, who was already queen consort of Navarre, also became queen consort of France. Thereafter, until 1791, queens of France were also queens of Navarre. The crown of Navarre merged with the French crown in 1620, but the French kings continued to use the title of King of Navarre until 1791. The title King of Navarre was reassumed with the Restoration of 1814–15, and dropped with the Revolution of 1830. The Bonaparte and Orléans consorts did not use it. Regents. Many French consorts acted as regents for the husbands or children during the minorities. These were Anne of Kiev (1060–66) during the minority of her son Philip I Adèle of Champagne (1190–92), while her son was participating in the Third Crusade. Blanche of Castile (1226–1234) during the minority of her son Louis IX (1248–1252), during the absence of her son Louis IX on crusade. Joan the Lame, who often governed for her husband Philip VI whilst he was fighting. Isabeau of Bavaria, during the insanity of her husband Charles VI, during which she vied for power with her husband's uncles and brothers. Catherine de' Medici, 1552, while her husband Henry II left the kingdom for the campaign of Metz. 1560–1563, during the minority of her second son, Charles IX, 1574, during the absence of her third son, Henry III, in Poland. Marie de' Medici, 1610–1614, during the minority of her son, Louis XIII. Anne of Austria, 1643–1651, during the minority of her son Louis XIV. Empress Eugénie, 3 times for her husband Napoleon III, during his absence. Madame de Maintenon. Madame de Maintenon, mistress of Louis XIV, married the king in the winter of 1685–1686 privately by François de Harlay de Champvalen, Archbishop of Paris, in the presence, it is believed, of Père Lachaise, the king's confessor, the Marquis de Montchevreuil, the Chevalier de Fabin, and Alexandre Bontemps. Owing to the inequality of social status, she and the king did not marry openly. No written proof of the marriage is extant, but that it took place is nevertheless certain. It is important to remember that Madame de Maintenon was never Queen of France, simply a royal consort. Carolingian dynasty. Capetian dynasty. Direct Capetians, House of Valois, House of Lancaster. Some sources refer to Margaret of Anjou as Queen of France, but her right to enjoy that title is disputed. She was briefly recognized only in English-controlled territories of France. Capetian dynasty. House of Valois, House of Valois Orléans, House of Valois Angoulême, House of Bourbon Bonaparte dynasty. Capetian Dynasty, House of Bourbon, House of Orleans, Bonaparte Dynasty,